So, The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 2 premiered last night, titled We Are the End of the World. Now, if you haven't seen this episode, spoiler warning, I'm going to get into a bit of spoilers throughout this review, so if you haven't seen it, you've been warned. So the episode kicks off, we get a flashback from 7 years previous to where we are currently, and we see Alpha and Lydia with just blood all over them. They haven't adapted the mask idea yet, and they're just around travelling with there's about 20 walkers, and they come across a girl. And not a girl, she's a woman in a car, she gets injured, and then she tries to escape her car, and of course she gets bit. But Lydia has these earmuffs on her ears, and she gets this because she doesn't like to hear the sound of the walkers, or she doesn't like to hear the sound of people being attacked. But then I can't remember if a walker knocks them off or they just fall off, but they fall off, and she sees it and she screams the place down. And obviously you know neither of them are going to die because this is a flashback. But then they make their way into this huge, they try to get into it, and it was kind of an insane asylum. They make their way in, and you kind of just see Beta standing down this hallway, very intimidating, and he has a mask blocking his face. The mask kind of reminds, like, just seeing him, even though he's nowhere near the size, the way it looked, it reminded me a lot of Brightburn. So just the way the way that kid kind of stood and represented himself, that's what Beta looked like to me in this episode. Because the mask, it was, I don't know what it was. I think it's just a ski mask, but he's wearing that throughout the episode, and he's hiding his face. So we got the introduction of how Beta and Alpha got to meet each other in this episode. We then go back to modern times where we actually meet this new Whisperer called Gamma. Well, she doesn't get introduced, named as Gamma until towards the end of the episode. But she's this new Whisperer, and the weirdest thing about her is she's actually wearing Enid's clothes, from the clothes she wore when she got beheaded. So I kind of was noticing that a lot throughout this episode. Like, that's Enid's clothes. That's kind of messed up. But she's the sister of the woman who had the baby last season that left it on the ground that Connie saved. So she's off with Beta and Gamma, and they're kind of getting a herd together to bring back to the community where they live so they can have the herd to grow even more. And she kind of has a panic attack and starts crying, and then Beta has come up and killed two walkers, so they see it as wasting two guardians. So then Beta brings her back, and they're about to kill her. They're about to get some other Whisperer in there to kill this woman. And then Alpha comes and goes, no, leave her. And then from memory, Alpha takes her back to her home. And then I know she does, but I don't know if she takes it back straight away or leaves it a while. But she takes her back to Alpha's kind of hut where she lives. And I don't know what she was doing to her, but this woman, she took her mask off, and she's very young. She's about like 14, 15, 16. I don't know how old she was, but she looked very young. I always assumed from last week, I thought she was in her 30s, 40s, just because she had a kid, and she just, even though it's someone else's face, she looked very grown up. But to find out that actually she was extremely young, it was a bit messed up. Because as like from the comic books, the Whisperers, they don't believe in consent or anything. They rape each other. So that's probably what happened to that girl. She was probably raped into getting that kid, which is kind of a horrible thought. But she's having all these panic attacks because of all this. So Alpha takes her back, and I don't know. She had her hand. She pressed her head in here. I don't know what she did, but she screamed her mouth off, and then Alpha pulled her in and hugged her, and then let her free, and she was okay after that. But then they go out again, and they're with the big herd, and Alpha's out this time, and then the woman sees another walker, and she's got I don't know what's called, big strap to hold the baby in, and she starts getting all these memories of the baby, and she loses. She takes off her mask, she screams and jumps on Alpha's back, and all walkers start swarming around them. Beta and Gamma sprint over to Alpha, and then I don't know how, I think Gamma threw her sister off Alpha's back, and her sister got eaten to pieces. And then after that, that's when Alpha decides to she decides to proclaim to everyone that this is Gamma. She's her in command. Then we go back to 7 years later, and Alpha and Beta are somewhat connecting, and then they come across a lot of walkers come into the insane asylum that they're in. So Alpha starts killing them, and then Beta starts killing them together, and then they have this moment, and then they're kind of connecting, and then they start opening up the stomachs and taking all the parts out and put them in buckets, of course, so Alpha and Lydia can put the blood all over them. And they're having this moment, and Alpha goes to take his mask off him, and he loses it. He gets extremely annoyed. But before that, they have this conversation, and he says, well, he goes, just call him something like big man or something. And he goes, oh, I thought we didn't have names. He goes, okay, I'll just call you B. And if he goes, if I'm B, what are you? And he goes, I'm A. I'm like, I thought it was a bit of an odd way of how they came to the whole Alpha and Beta name. I thought they got that just from wolves and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that they just got it because he's big man, so B, and she's A just because she has to be more than a Beta, I thought that was a bit odd. And then Lydia kind of wants to be more like her mother, so she takes the Walker guts that obviously the Alpha and Beta kind of captured or gathered, whatever you want to say, and she puts them on herself, and then she kind of wanders around the place saying to herself, "We are the monsters, we are the monsters." Then she comes up to Beta's room, and Alpha's panicked, like, where is she? So she's trying to look around for her, and she gets up to Beta's room, and then Beta's like, "You shouldn't have come up here. I said never come up here." And we see a picture on the wall with it's Beta and someone else, and the other person is wearing the smiley t-shirt that Beta wears, and both their faces are scratched. And then Beta comes up, he's like, "You shouldn't have come here." And then a walker comes out, and Alpha, of course, as you would when you see a walker, you stab it in the head. But of course, it's someone that from Beta's past, and I'm getting the impression, because he said he, and it's either the only thing I can think of is either his brother, but he seemed young. He seems like a lot younger than Beta, so he's either his brother, his son, or Beta's partner. But I don't really know. But either way, he was saying, "I can't leave him here," because Alpha's like, "We gotta go," and Beta's like, "I can't leave him here." And he goes, "Take him with you then." So she hands him his knife, and he skins him. So the skin that Beta wears all the time on his face is from that person. Whoever that person was to him, it clearly meant a lot to him, that person. And he now wears his facial skin on his skin, which is pretty messed up. Like, to think say if it is your partner, right? Your partner dies and you want to keep him with you all the time, so you skin his or her face and leave it on your face, which is pretty messed up. And as well, because he never takes the mask off, so that face is always on him. So in a way, it kind of makes sense why he never takes it off, because it means so much to him. But also, it's still a bit messed up. Like, he took the t-shirt as well. He's wearing the t-shirt, but that not being like, would that not be enough to wear his t-shirt instead of his actual skin, which is quite messed up. I know it's the world they're in the world, they believe this is the right way of doing things, but still, you knew this person beforehand. If that was me and I had to choose someone's skin to wear, I would wear a skin from someone I didn't know rather than someone who meant probably the world. It seemed like he meant the world to him, so I wouldn't. If I had to choose, I go for someone I didn't know rather than skimming someone that I love to bits and put their skin on my face. And then back in modern times, we kind of see Alpha and Beta. They are debating a lot, because Beta doesn't like Gamma. Alpha is kind of becoming very fond of Gamma just because she's in around the same age as Lydia. So I think she's kind of trying to make Gamma the new Lydia, because she's what Lydia always wanted. Gamma is what she always wanted for Lydia to be like. So she's really taken Lydia's placement and putting Gamma over, but then she disappears for a while. Beta goes looking for her, and she finds her back at the old camp where they used to be, and she finds Lydia's bed. She has a little teddy bear that Lydia used to always have, and Beta's like, "You missed her. You said you killed her. She's alive." And then it's like a whole reveal, like, oh yes, she is alive, but I actually don't remember Alpha ever saying to Beta, "Oh yeah, I killed Lydia." So for some reason, it probably was said, I just don't remember it. But so they have this whole debate, and then they kind of just accept it, and she's like, okay, because Beta is obsessed with Alpha, so he's not gonna do anything against her. So they kind of accept it, and then they're kind of Beta says, "We heard some movement on our side of the border. A lot of fire was over there." And she goes, I don't know if she said the bad guys or the enemies or something like that has crossed the border. So they make their way there, and as they're doing it, Alpha sees something, and it's like corner of her eye. So she walks out to like kind of a rock, and looks up and sees Carol. So this week's episode ends the exact same way as last week's episode. So if you kind of wanted to, you could have skipped this week's episode and gone straight from 1 to 3. It's an enjoyable episode, but you could have skipped it. Overall, for a Whisperer backstory episode, it was enjoyable enough. I wasn't really screaming for an origin episode from the Whisperers. Like, if I had to choose for a villain origin story, Negan, I want a Here's Negan episode, or even just Here's Negan movie would be a lot better, like the Rick movie kind of thing. Just Here's Negan, bring back Austin Amelio, bring back Simon Ogg for all Here's Negan would probably be the best movie they could do. I don't think they will do. I think they've kind of waited too long. But if they ever did decide to do it, I'd be thrilled. But in terms of this episode, I enjoyed it. Episode 1's a lot better. I'm hoping 3 will be better. It's not a bad episode by any stretch. It's just something I didn't really want to see. I didn't really care about the Alpha and Beta origins. I kind of like them to be a mystery. But that's just me. Let me know if you did enjoy the episode. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, that it was a good episode to see, that we actually got to see their introduction of how they became and everything. So let me know if you liked it, didn't like it. Click subscribe so you can see my review for episode 3. And as well, you can go back and watch my episode 1 review if you haven't seen it. But as always, thanks for watching.